Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of Beauty Told. It's your girl Britt, and I have yet again another great guest with me today. And me and him, we go back. I think it's been over a year now since we did your episode. So his episode can be found on the Pull Up Experience podcast with Brandon, and of course your girl Britt on there as well as co-host. So make sure you guys check it out, because that way you can understand a deeper dive into, how he became to be the greatest DJ in Cleveland. I'm just going to say it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully that don't cause no controversy.
You started off hot.
Hey, it got to be. So, Step one, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. And I probably didn't do your introduction enough justice. So if you could tell the folks, who you are.
I appreciate it. My name is Djstepone, also known as Djstepone. Met Brittany last year on the Pull Up Experience. That was a great podcast. Go check it out. Don't just check out my episode. You can check out everybody's episode. If you was an entrepreneur, you did anything business related in Cleveland, like the Pull Up Experience is probably one of the podcasts you need to listen to, because it's always great content. You and Brandon do an excellent job of interviewing guests.
Thank you.
So just one half owner of Sound Bender Institute, Cleveland's premier DJ Academy, and then also a co-founder with two other people of Montre, which is an augmented reality app, and of course a DJ within itself. So I DJ a lot.
So he wears a lot of hats. Wear a lot of hats, including the one he got on to match his outfit. Looking fly today.
Trying my best.
You're doing it. So listen, guys, we are both coming today. We're coming with a different topic, so a little twist to it, because we're going to talk about entrepreneurship and love, because it's hard out here. First of all, it's hard out here in the love aspect of things, because dating is not what it used to be. So then you want to add another bit to it by adding entrepreneurship to it, and it gets a little tricky. It gets a little crazy. So I'm just going to start off only in like a general sense. Steph, what has been like your honest experience when it comes to just the dating part? So you're just trying to get to know somebody.
Oh. What has been my honest experience? I'll say this: it's not as bad as people make it out to be. I think, me personally, I'm probably a harder person to deal with. And the reason why I say that is just because, I guess we starting right off in the deep end. If you think about it, like, I'm a very logical person.
Okay.
And relationships, if the more I think about it, are really emotional things. So like if you are a school teacher or whatever, any type of business, so keep it to entrepreneurship. Most of the time you're using logic to solve your problems. Right. Where in a relationship is mostly like emotional. You have this emotional connection to a person. I admit, I am not that emotional. I'm sometimes I could be very stoic, and I don't mean to be. That's just my natural disposition. Okay. So I think that kind of rubs people the wrong way.
Okay. I get that. And I like the way that you put it, that it's not as bad as people make it to seem. Because even for myself, I will say that I haven't had to experience the whole ghosting thing, because I know that was a thing when I stepped into the dating scene. Was everybody was getting ghosted, and I'm like, well, what is that? And I started looking into that, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness the guys that I went on dates with were gentlemen, and like I said, we pretty much, if we weren't working out, we ended it in a great way where we could still be cool. But it was a little scary, just even that from that aspect. But what was you about to say?
So that kind of brought me to a question. Do you think that's because of the disposition you have when you look for a person? Because I know a lot of people have experienced ghosting, or have experienced like these like sour things or these like traumatic things that can happen. But then the question becomes, especially after what you just said, is it because when you look for somebody, do you have this like standard, and maybe not so much a financial standard or whatever type of standard, but actual moral standard?
Oh, well, you know what? It's funny, because I guess when it comes down to it, I always kind of start off just wanting to get to know the person. Maybe just even the way that I come off, they kind of know that I'm not on maybe them type of games, because I know there are some females, you know, even that I know that may come off a little strong, or you know, may come off a little bit maybe, oh God, I hate to say this word, but maybe a little bit desperate, and that could kind of maybe be the cause of why some get ghosted, because it's just a little too much. Or if you're just maybe a strong kind of maybe masculine type of female, that some guys prefer more of the feminine side, that could be something that kind of turns them off. So I don't know what it is maybe about me, but I kind of just start off with just a conversation, no expectations. That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
So I'm not saying like, hey, I'm ready to find my husband, and are you with, you know, like I'm not coming in with any demands. Let's just go with the flow. Let's get to know each other the best way that we can, and you know, we'll see where it goes from there.
All right. So I'm not trying to.
Oh Lord.
Because now I can feel my brain working. But okay, so you've been married before.
I have.
So do you think that makes you come in without the expectation of like, I'm trying to get, you might be trying to get married again, but you get what I'm saying? Not with the, let's go with the flow and see where this goes, since I've already had this experience.
Oh, maybe so. Cause oh wow, is that okay? All right. Yeah, because
Deep right
you right. I know, right? Dang. You're right. Cause I don't want to start off right from the jump of, hey, I'm ready for my next husband. Like, I am being more cautious with dating and just taking my time, because I have that now. You're right. Maybe it would be different if I was like, you know, some of the beauties out there who are, you know, haven't got to experience marriage. So it is, and especially depending on your age, it might be more like, man, I really got to figure this out, you know, because the hope is to have children down the line, and, you know, and to buy the home and have the whole lifestyle. So I guess I am a little different from the norm, because I have experienced the marriage for quite some time at that. And dating to me is really, I can really, I don't want to say control it, but I can kind of, I can literally go with the flow, because there really is no high expectation involved. So
you just want to know the person.
Yeah.
And not so much the goal of trying to, because I think a lot of times people will set a goal. And the thing is, like, especially when you talk about relationships, you could set a goal and then you can ignore the person trying to reach that goal. Right. And then get to that goal and then look at the person and be like, this is not the person I want to be through this goal with.
That's true. And sometimes some early conversations, you can really figure that out real quick. So I'm not proud to say this either, but my cutoff game be pretty strong, you know, because I do know what I will tolerate and what I will not tolerate. So maybe that also could come from, you know, having dealt with what I dealt with. But like I told you guys in previous episodes, discernment is a big thing for me. I pray for it every morning, and it's not just for relational base. I do it for business wise, you know, financial wise. Like, I want to make the best sound decisions that I possibly can. So
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So somebody ain't talking right. Sometimes if your Instagram or Facebook ain't looking right, I know right from the back we not compatible.
So what would be like a not right Instagram or Facebook?
It's when they have these posts. Like, okay, I've stumbled upon some guys, and I get to go into their posts, and they may have some, I don't know, they just have like some craziness. Like, they'll have a post that somebody had or some meme, and then maybe like, these girls out here don't know that they private part. Like, when it gets to start being a little bit too raunchy,
okay,
then that let me know that that's kind of like the time that you own, but that's not where I'm at. Or, you know, maybe you are just a lot of cussing. I can just tell from a lot of like the verbal, like if I'm in your stories and you just cussing, or I'm in your stories and all I see is marijuana all throughout your stories, like, okay, then I know we're not going to connect, because, you know, that's not me, you know. I know me. So I think it's important to know yourself, and that way you know what you will and kind of won't tolerate. I know nobody's going to be perfect. I get that. But there's certain things that you could pick up right off the bat that like, nah, that's just not going to be for me. It's not for me, but it's for somebody else.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So actually, that brings up a good point for me to ask you. So what are maybe some things in a female that you're like, yeah, nah, I don't think that this is going to be a love connection here?
That's a good question. So I think the thing is like first, it's usually the first conversation that you can have with somebody. Yeah. I know it's like a controversial statement to say, what do you bring to the table? I'll never ask that question.
Me either.
But I will assess it.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. And I don't mean I'm not just talking about like anything financially.
Right.
I'm just seeing how you sit at this table.
Yeah.
So I really actually don't come in with any standard, but trying to learn the actual person. Because you could work wherever, you could do whatever, but what is your moral character? Like, how much chemistry do we have? Like, is it easy to talk to you? Because the thing is, especially if you've been in a long-term relationship before, if you've been with somebody, that's the stuff that matters the most. Because what ends up happening is like, I have to be able to sit on the couch with you and do nothing.
That's true.
Like, oh, we just watching TV. What show you want to watch? Oh, I want to watch this show. All right, I want to watch this show. All right, well, we cool. You doing your thing over here. I'm doing my thing over here. And then we kind of come together at certain points.
Right.
So, like, I don't really come in with many. It sounds weird to say that, especially in this type of like social media climate where you're supposed to come in with all these different standards and stuff. Like, I just want to know the person. Yeah. Because if the chemistry isn't there, like if I'm not getting along with you, it don't matter what you have, what your standards is, or what your goals is. I'm not gonna want to be around you. Period. Yeah. It's almost like I won't get off in the tangent. But it's almost like. Think about it in terms like this. Like, you have a lot of friends, right? When you pick your friends, you don't be like, okay, well, my friends need to have this certain type of thing, this certain type of thing. You might have picked your friends because you vibe with them, right? That's right. Now, this thing is like, especially when you talk about relationships, that's the person you're going to be vibing with the most because you're going to be around them the most. That's true. It's almost like, I'll tell a story. I went on a trip. This was like it wasn't a dude trip. It was like a business trip. Oh, okay. I went on this was like 12 years ago with a rapper. And when I came back, I'm like, man, I did not like the place I went to. And what I realized later, it wasn't the place. The place was great. It's just the people I went with wasn't the people that I vibe with. Like, don't mean they wasn't bad people or anything like that. But that's just not the type. We just like two different type of things. But I was there on business. But because I was there with them, I didn't get to enjoy the business as much. And I didn't get to enjoy the city as much. So I'm just saying that to say, in the same way I look at that, it's like, even though that was a good business opportunity, if I was to translate that to a relationship and I'm taking a trip with a woman and because she fits all these superficial standards I said, I'm going to have the same experience. Well, I don't like that city. I'm not going to like any city I'm with you because as a person, we don't vibe together.
Yep, it's the person. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Listen, we can go on and on with that one. So I guess when it comes to when you said it's not necessarily what you bring to the table, but in a sense it kind of is. I get that because I also am not looking for finance. If you guys have seen some of my episodes, it's not about the money, but it is about the person. So like you said, the character. Because what is it that you do? What is it what are your goals and ambitions? What is it that you you strive to be, because maybe you might be a teacher, but your goal is to want to get into real estate, or you want to have your own construction business, or whatever the case may be. What is it that's kind of like your side hustle, so just like you with the many hats, you're not just in one lane, you do quite a bit of things. And I'm sure more things yet to come, that you want to, achieve. So, and the same for me. I mean, I'm not just going to stick to just, my 9 to 5 and not even just the podcast. There's other things that I, would like to research and learn more about and start getting my hands dirty and start doing it. So I think that for me, one of the struggles I've experienced with having to, venture off into the podcast world, so kind of like my entrepreneurship basically, is that I had a few gentlemen that didn't quite understand that my time can sometimes be limited. That tends to play a key role. And you know what? You just seem just a little too busy for me. You got a lot on your plate. not enough really in regards to me. So, I'm gonna just fall back. Now, I had a few that have said that to me. So have you experienced something similar? Because again, you got a lot going on too,
Yeah, definitely. And like, because usually sometimes you end up coming into a situation where, at least for me, where you had planned something and then something came up business related, and then you kind of got to be like, hey, I'm sorry, but this happened and I got to take care of this during this time we're supposed to spend together. So, I mean, I think this thing, especially with time, is basically being an entrepreneur, you have to be understanding. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have to be understanding, like, yo, the time, they might not have time, or they might have set a time and then that time has to go away because something else came up or something like that. So time is definitely a big thing. Well, question to you, because you mentioned that they had a problem with the time. How much time did they want to spend?
That's a great question, actually, because so there were two gentlemen. One of the gentlemen, he was much older, and if you ask me, as far as my perspective, he wanted all my time. And because he was older to the point where his children were grown, and he was pretty much kind of alone. He had businesses, but he could kind of maneuver those because he had drivers and stuff. Like, he was in the trucking business, so he had drivers that could kind of take on the task. So he had a lot of time on his hands, and more time than I could occupy, because I'm like, yo, I'm still a mom, because I have two beautiful boys that they still require me. They're older, nonetheless, they're both teenagers, but they still need mom from time to time, or I still want to have that bonding time with them, movie nights, or we out kicking at Sky Zone, whatever the case may be. And then the other gentleman he's just content with just the 9 to 5. So outside of that, it's like, hey, what you doing? Hey, what you doing? And for me, I do better if you kind of let me know ahead of time what we doing. I can't you just can't hit me up in the morning. Hey, can you come over? I'll cook you breakfast. Not today. I actually have to get ready to do this, or I'm going to go look for a house. I'm going to go do this. So. So in both instances, like, they do require quite a bit of my time, and I get it, because I mean, in order to build with anybody, you got to make the time, but it is a way to prioritize it a little bit. You have to kind of you got to almost like plan it, because otherwise, it, like you said, things come up.
So do you think you required a lot of time?
Did I require a lot of time? No, because I'm kind of figuring out, as I get more into this, is that my time is so limited. In fact, I've actually been trying to take some time, some thought, and figure out how I can better time manage what I have going on, because I feel like I'm just all over the place. Because I guess it's not as easy as I thought it was, to be able to have my own podcast. I'm on another podcast. I work full time. I, trying to do other things in my personal life, trying to schedule time for that. I work out. I go and set aside time to work out with my mom, to help her with her journey. So I have quite a bit where I'm trying to do, and it gets hectic. It's hectic. So my time is real. So right now I'm not really even dating. I guess I'm willing to if the opportunity presents itself. But I'm not actively you ain't gonna see me on dating sites. Y'all do. I told y'all. Let me know.
So you kind of almost like a lone wolf.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that's not a bad thing. Meaning you like to do the stuff you want to do.
Yeah.
So you like to work out.
I do.
So if you had a choice between going on a date and working out, you would probably rather work out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Or, for example, somebody hey, I want to take you here, but it's movie night with the kids. I'd rather watch a movie with my sons than whatchamacallit.
Yeah. So
that makes sense, because a lot of times I think, especially a lot of dudes might come into it well, I'm coming in it and I'm
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to do this because I know you're looking for somebody to do something with. But a lot of times, especially if you a lone wolf type, you probably, honestly, from what it sounds like, you enjoy your own company.
I know it. I guess it's. I feel like it's kind of sad though. Is that not bad?
I'm a person that enjoys my own company.
Okay.
So like, no, I don't think that's sad. But then I might be the wrong person to gaze this by, because, for example, there are certain people that can't do certain things by themselves. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't know it was a thing that people can't eat by themselves at restaurants.
You know what? That did take me a while to get to though, Steph. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because I'm like, I'm hungry.
Because I felt awkward more so than anything. I could eat. That ain't gonna stop me from eating, but it just like, I don't know. It does tend to get a little lonely.
I don't know. It
don't bother you. Huh?
No, I just go sit at the bar, pull out my phone, start reading some articles or something like that, get on social media, and then eat. I also can go to the movies by myself.
Oh, that I can do. Yeah. Oh, that I can do.
So, like,
certain things, I guess.
I guess if it was like, maybe, trying to think of something that would be awkward to.
You wouldn't go to the amusement park by yourself?
Nah, I wouldn't. That's kind of serial killerish. You go to an amusement park by yourself. Like if you go to an amusement park by yourself, you really like roller coasters.
Yeah, that's true. You have a love for it.
Yeah,
you love it.
Like your passion in life is to ride the Big Dipper. And I don't even know if they got the Big Dipper anymore.
I don't know either. Yeah. It's been a couple years for me.
I've never been to Cedar Point. I've never been to Cedar. I've been to Jogger Lake a whole bunch of times. I've never been to Cedar Point.
Why not?
Oh man, I don't know. It's just something that just never happened. When I was a kid, we were supposed to go one time, but then a family member got into a light car accident. So we ended up turning around, and then we just never went back. Like, never been to Cedar Point.
And no field trips? You know, in school, they used to field trips. We used to go there a couple times.
Nope. They used to take us to Jogger Lake. I guess it was like, it's right down the street. So
it was right down the street.
You ain't gonna waste no gas on these kids.
Over to Six Flags. Oh my gosh. Okay.
We just definitely got off track.
I know, right? Real quick. But hey, but the whole, point is that even in this dating world, you should be able to find time to be to yourself and enjoy your own company. Because I think that does tie into someone that does have too much time on their hands, where it becomes a little too needy. Like nobody really desires that or likes that. That was something that actually was a turnoff for me. Was the fact, in those two instances where it's like, well, my head's like, well, don't you have something that you can do? Yeah. And then we could figure something out as far as, we can go hang out for a Friday night, again, scheduling. Yeah. But every time I have an off day, that doesn't mean that I'm going to spend it with you.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. And that was what, especially for the older guy, that was his expectation. And I'm like, no, I can't dedicate that. Like sometimes I want just my me time, like you said. And sometimes it's cool that we, I can come and have breakfast or whatever the case may be, or we can go watch a movie. But I think that some people do need to learn how to just be by yourself and enjoy your own company, because then you'll start to, I think that's when your gears will start, turning of, what, maybe I could start doing this, or I could start, so the goals and things like that will start to kind of come into play of what you may want to start doing, in your spare time, if you got, too much time on your hands.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Like,
so yeah. Oh, go ahead.
I thought that was it. I was just agreeing with what you were saying.
I was just gonna ask, so where do you find time in your, schedule to be able to, date? Are you? I know I said I'm not actively dating. I'm willing to. The opportunity presents, but are you actively, dating, or is like?
I am actively dating.
Okay.
I'm actively dating one person.
Okay, all right. Well, that's it.
I can't do a roster.
Me either. I've never been able to do that either.
Yeah, I can't do a roster because the thing is, man, it's too much. One, it takes up too much time.
It does. It really does.
And then it's like, oh my God, it's too much to manage. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Because like I said earlier, relationships is emotional, and for me not to be an emotional person, it's hard enough to try to manage one person's emotions. So then imagine trying to manage 3 or 4 people's emotions. Yeah, I'm just not cut out for it.
Yeah, so I never have been. And then for the guys, I'm sure that becomes a pricier price tag for y'all because you have to get to know this Susie and taking her out. Then you got to take Samantha and, you know, taking her out, get to know her. And the same conversations kind of as you're getting to know the person. Like for the guys, I'm sure that gets a little expensive.
It does. And so it can, because you don't want to be up here like, all right, I'm about to take you to this nice ritzy place and you go to Applebee's. You got to
right.
You don't want to do nothing like that.
That's true.
And then on top of that, honestly, the real toll comes in like if you have multiple, for a dude, it could be the same for a woman, when you have multiple women that actually like you. Because then all of a sudden, like, you know, they feel hurt.
Yeah.
Like if you like, hey, this ain't work out how I thought it was gonna work out.
Right.
Like all of a sudden you just created an enemy.
Yeah.
Like real talk, like, yo, as a dude, like for other dudes that's listening, the more people you date, and I'm pretty sure like the older men know this, so maybe this is just for the younger men, you're going to create more enemies. Like for the most part.
Yeah.
Like I know you said earlier, like, you know, when you dated somebody, y'all usually break up amicably. And the thing is, like, you could be honest up front as much as possible. You could do everything. But if, from my experience, if that person likes you and then you're like, yo, I don't think this works out like this, you just created an enemy. Like, she gonna want payback.
It probably is tougher for the guys, too, because like you said, women we're emotional, period, you know. And so, you know, we might feel like we were led on. You know, it looks, you know, deceitful. Like, okay, well, I thought we was vibing, I thought it was right. And then they start to question themselves. So now it becomes a self thing. Now they're checking themselves in the mirror. What could I have done? And, you know, what was me? So it for women, we do take rejection pretty tough. We do. Do guys take it just as tough though, or is it like brush off the shoulders?
Okay, so this is a complicated answer. Let's get into it. Some do, like, it depends. So if you a dude in the street and you holler at a girl, you know, some dudes like, F you then. You know what I mean? Like, that's weak. Yeah. Or whatever.
It is.
If you go on a date with a woman and she's like, yo, I'm not feeling this. Most of the time we won't take that rejection tough.
Okay.
Like, okay, I understand, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Be cool. We can still be cool. Or whatever. Where a dude really takes rejection tough is when, like, y'all are in a relationship. And then it gets, like, a legit... Now, I'm not talking about, like, we was just dating. Like, a legit relationship. And then you come and then tell them, like, I don't want to be with you no more. That's where it's, like, dudes be really taking rejection hard. Yeah. Okay. So like, you holler at a woman in the street and she not interested in you, you don't got to cuss her out. You know
right, I mean? That's true. They definitely don't. And like you said, that's for the little boys. That's unnecessary.
That's like an insecure thing.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So, so I know that, you know, things are on the up and up right now in regards to the dating, but can you give me an instance where the date was just horribly, just all wrong?
Oh, you do several?
Yeah, you know. I just gotta ask, you know.
I think I went on a date and it was time to leave. Like the conversation was over. And then it was like, oh yeah, so what you about, like being very polite, like, yo, what you about to do? And it was just continuously talking. And like, okay.
Didn't know when to cut
off. Okay. We still in here talking because I want to go. And I've been saying enough things to make you realize I want to go, but we still here. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't pay the check about 30 minutes ago. And I'm asking you, you want anything else? And you still talking. And then I walk you to the car and you're still talking. Like, nah, it's over.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to think of another, nothing really, honestly, other than that, like nothing. I'm trying to think of anything that happened where, pretty much I would say that was the main thing. Okay. I think, no, right? So I'm a very curious person. So I like to ask questions. Actually, I have two instances of this. So I like to ask questions. So as I was getting to know this person on the phone, I was asking, questions. Because for me, the way conversation works, I ask a question, you ask a question, we continue and we build off of that to form a conversation.
Right.
So like, what's your favorite color? Pink. My favorite color is blue. How did you like pink?
Right.
I don't know. I just saw it. You kind of get what I'm saying?
I
It's
get
like,
you.
yeah, like that.
And it just flows. Yeah.
I think this person. So when we met up, like on our first date, they came with their phone and was like, "All right, so I got a list of questions for you." I'm like, you wrote out the questions?
Right.
She's like, well, you started the questions. That made me thinking. I'm like, okay. That was weird to me. Like, that was weird to me. And then, like I said, sometimes, we say this lightly, one time I went on a date, and this was back when I was like 20 something, like early 20s.
Okay, all right.
Like super early.
A little minute ago, yeah.
A minute ago. I'd never forget this. Went on a date, and then I forgot whatever question I asked. I just remember they asked like, "Yeah, last year wasn't the best year for me health-wise, sexually," and I'm like. I'm not gonna ask you more questions because I'm pretty much like
that pretty much told you like, in a nutshell.
Yeah, like, oh, okay. Check please.
Yeah.
Let me get
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that one could be so blunt from time to time. I mean, I love y'all. We in this together. We got this. But yeah, just for my beauties out there, let's just let it just organically go. I don't think coming up with a whole list is the best way to start off any day, or being a talkative. I have my share of talkative people as well. That one is a little awkward.
Yeah, especially when you trying to.
Yeah, your social battery at a point.
Yeah,
for me, it goes down.
And like I'm polite, so I wasn't gonna be like, okay,
yeah, me too.
It's over. The conversation is over. You see, I got the check. All right, I'm walking you to your car.
I get you.
Shake your hand. I don't even want to hug.
Oh, don't even get a side hug. No side hug. No church hug.
Yeah. Not even the feminine handshake.
The like a business for the interview. Oh gosh, I can't. Listen, well, I guess when it comes to dating in general, there's definitely some do's and don'ts that we kind of need to get down packed. Okay.
What? I know you got a bad date story.
I was trying to think of one. I don't think I have one that I can think of. I haven't been on that many dates though, Steph, for real, because I'm kind of like you. I start off with the conversation, and if the conversation ain't really going the way that I think that it should, like if it's just getting too crazy, then we just kind of fade out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Stop answering the text messages.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or they just real dry. How's your day? Good. Yeah. How's your night? Great. Like, okay.
Do dudes still be because once I get one of those, I'm like, oh, okay.
Not everybody gets it though. Not everybody gets it. I had one guy. Oh my gosh. So I can't think of a bad date, but I can think of a bad experience with a guy. I met him when I was, setting up for my best friend's bridal shower. And, he had, compliment me, and, we got to talk a little bit. He's like, hey, can I have your number? Sure. So I gave him my number, we text back and forth. Starts off, the same, good morning, hope your day is great, just those standard things. But then it just got too much overwhelmingness of text. And I'm like, okay, I'll talk to you later, and it just became to the point where it was just so much, it got obsessive, and it was just like, okay, he about to be on the block list in a minute because he's just doing the most. And actually at a point in time, I was being nice by not putting on the block list automatically. I just kind of stopped answering the texts. And I think that just made him go even more. And I'm like, did he not get it? Like, I'm not even answering the text, and you still gonna keep going. Hi, beautiful. How you doing? Haven't heard from you in a minute. Well, I wonder why. Like, you still coming? I'm cool. I'm cool on that. Matter of fact, I think one of his texts he was already jumping the gun into like, oh, you'll get to see when we get into a relationship. We ain't even went on a date. How you even know we gonna get to that point of a relationship? So that was like really where I think that might have been the turning point for real, where I'm just like, yeah, nah, this isn't for me. Because anybody that's rushing to that, that for me is a red flag, and I'm cool. You know, I want to get to know the person, and I want it to just organically, like let's let it flow and let's let it get there for sure.
Yeah, before you like, yo, I want you to meet my family. Like, I don't know you.
Yeah, you don't know me. You know, so why would you want me around? You know, your personal loved ones. You know.
Yeah, like, nah, that's crazy. Yeah, if I guess I'm too prideful. I'm definitely too prideful. I'm way too prideful. Admit it, I'm too prideful.
Hey, listen.
So
I get it.
Like if I get if I send you, hey, how you doing? You say good. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, not talking to that person no more. Ride my bike.
Okay, we can say that's the end of that. All right. So, Steph, I mean, this has been fun. So, what advice would you give for those who are watching that are entrepreneurs, but really do want to find like real, true, genuine love? What would be some maybe tips or recommendations you would give?
You might be asking the wrong person. But I'm gonna try my best.
Well, do your best. That's what I said. You got a lot going on, so do your best to help them figure it out.
All right, so you got to definitely split this up by gender because it's a little bit different. For doing.
Hey y'all, so sorry about that. We had some technical difficulties. Your boy Djstepone came in for the rescue and got me back together, so thank you.
I try my best.
So we were talking a lot off camera. I wish we could have been able to get on here. But I definitely want to go back to the whole concept of people just wanting the perfect person, and I know that you had this you have your own little theory, and if you didn't mind kind of
my theory.
Yes.
So we was talking off camera, and the thing that we was talking about was just dating in general. And one of the things I said was like, ideally, I know this is like contrary, especially for us as Black people, we're supposed to be like, you're supposed to get married when you're 62. It's like, nah. I think like the mid 20s is the perfect range, because then you don't deal with so much trauma. Or, you know, a lot of people don't realize like you can have so many experiences and you can like a person, this person for this person for that you start trying to build a Frankenstein. Like if you're familiar with the book Frankenstein, basically Dr. Frankenstein took a whole bunch of different parts from different people to create the monster. So you could be trying to create this perfect person because you want somebody that has this type of finances, this type of sense of humor, this type of, you know, intimacy, whatever you say. And then you be trying to create this person that's never going to exist. Like it's impossible to take all these different things because you had all these different experiences. So you wish it was like this. I wish he was like Tim or Linda. Those are some old names, but you get the point I'm making. Like you wish that they did stuff like this, and you'll never be able to create that.
Yeah, that's good. I love that, actually. I was like, oh, that's good. He was like, I wish we could have gone on camera. I'm like, as soon as we figure this out, we got to get that on there, because that's good.
Yeah,
I love that. And it's funny, too, because we do tend to want to, and like you said, if you're earlier in your lifetime and getting married, then you don't have to deal with so much. With the majority of us, we'd have been through some things. But I think to kind of piggyback off of that, that's also a way that you should be able to take a lesson from whatever that dating experience was with that person. Okay, so I definitely don't want a person that curses a lot. And you can still use it as something that you can, you know, move on to the next person with that mindset of, okay, I'm going to make sure this person doesn't cuss, or I want to have somebody that I can watch comedy movies with, or, you know, we can laugh and, you know, has a sense of humor. Oh my God, I dated somebody that didn't. It was so stoic, and they didn't want to joke or play, or I played too much. Sorry, y'all got off topic, but that was one of the things where I was like, ooh, after a while, that got to me, though. After it was cool at first, because I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's teaching me how to be mature, you know? But then I'm not being my authentic me, because I like to be silly. I like to joke. I like to play around. I like to just come up to a person who just tickle, you know what I mean? Because I don't mind that with me. So I don't know, I can't even be goofy with you sometimes. Everything has to be so serious all the time. That just, it's not for me.
What was their occupation, if you don't mind me asking?
So they were this is the same gentleman that had the truck driving business or whatever. So just real. And before that, he had like a staffing business. He always basically was an entrepreneur, basically. So different ventures, but he was always, I guess you could say, always about business. I guess you could say, even when it came to relational.
You know, it's funny because the reason why I asked that is, at one point, like about 4 to 5 years ago, I was on dating apps.
Really?
And and you would just meet these people. It's like, yo, talking to you is like talking to a brick wall. Like, you have no sense of humor at all.
Wait, this is what people would say about you?
No, this is what I was saying.
Oh, you would say about them. Okay.
Like, it would be, actually, I have an interesting story. This happened years ago. Like, this had nothing to do with dating apps, but it was this girl I used to have a crush on. And one time I was DJing a party in Cleveland, and my roommate, we was back in college. So my roommate came with me, and afterwards she went to Kent. I went to Akron. So she went to Kent, I went to Akron, and the party wasn't that many people there. And her homegirl that she came with was dating like the promoter, so she wanted to stay with him, and they asked me if I could take her home. No problem. Took her back to Kent. We was headed back that way anyway, right? So this woman was beautiful. Had a crush on her. By the end of the car ride, that crush was completely gone. You talking about somebody that could not take a joke. Like, at all. And just was like, why would that happen like that? He's like, no, it's like a joke. Right. But I don't understand why that way. Yeah. She sat there quiet like that. I'm like, oh my God. Like, yo.
Word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all right, well, don't have a crush on you anymore.
I know. It's not crazy how somebody can just be so nice. For me, I can be so handsome, but when you really get to know the person, that's when you start to see, like, maybe you guys don't have as much in common as you thought you did, or you learn that you don't have as much in common as you maybe were hoping that you did.
You basically projected a personality on them that they don't have.
Yep.
Like, because it was like, oh man, but I never had a conversation with her before.
Wow.
And then having that conversation before, I was like, wow, how do you go through life without like laughing? Like, everything is so serious.
I can't do it. I tried it. It didn't work. Like I said, you start to lose yourself in the midst of it, because I'm like, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy life. We only get one. I want to laugh.
Yeah, it's okay.
Period.
Yeah. Like,
well, listen. So I think that we were actually trying to wrap up before it had cut off on us, anyways. But what question did I have in regards to?
I thought she was from like the South at first. I asked her a question. I was like,
he did.
I'm
he
like,
really did.
I'm from Cleveland.
I'm born and raised in Cleveland. I don't know where I don't know.
Yeah, am I the first person to ever say that to you?
I was thinking that too. I feel like I've had someone else ask me that before too, though. You're not the only one. Okay. You're not. Because in my profession, in the banking world, I've had maybe just 2 though that have asked me that. And I'm like, no. What makes you think that? No, you just seem like you were, from down there, or maybe you relocated from down there, at some point. But no.
Got that Tennessee draw a little bit.
I kind of wish. Then I probably wouldn't have ended up here, though. So it all made, God knew what he was doing. So born and raised here, y'all. But I guess we went through everything, because I wanted to know about the horror stories of dating, the flourishing. Well, what's been a great date for you? I guess as we get ready to kind of come to a close of everything, what would be a good dating experience for Djstepone?
Like one that really happened, or we'll just do general.
Yeah, let's do general. Yeah, let's do general.
Just a general. I like to go to a good dinner. Like I'm a lightweight foodie, so a nice restaurant. I don't really drink, but maybe have like one, just like as a social lubricant, and have like a nice, good conversation. Yeah, that's like ideal to me.
It is.
And then usually after that, if it continues to go well, like maybe do like a fun type date, like what's
fun for you since you ain't never been to Cedar Point? I just can't let that go.
Like, fun would be like, I'm gonna go to Cedar Point soon.
You're gonna have to. I might have to drag
At this point,
I might have to drag him to Cedar Point, y'all. We gotta make sure he experiences it before,
at this point,
it becomes too scary.
I might have to like not go to Cedar Point just to keep the streak alive of being like one of the only people in Ohio to not go to Cedar Point.
No, you got to. You'll be glad that you went.
So I want to go. If I go, I want to go during Halloween weekend or like Halloween weekends.
Okay, dress warm.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Dress warm because it get cold.
Yeah,
because I did it once. It get cold.
Yeah, I want to experience like the little like. I like haunted houses.
Okay, I kind of sense that you must like the
Halloween
thing.
season.
Yeah, okay.
Not on some like creepy where the people. You ever been like, I can get on a rant about. So here go an interesting fact about me. This has nothing. I ride a lot in silence.
Okay.
And just think.
Okay.
I know that sounds like serial killers,
so
but it's not. It's just like sometimes I'll just ride in silence and I just need to think out stuff, like, and just think about different theories and stuff like that. So what I was about to say is I'm not Halloween where like you ever drive past like a house during Halloween season and it's like, yo, what is going on in your mind where you got these decorations?
Yes, I have. It'd be a little too much.
Like, and
it does tend to make you question that person.
Yeah, because like Halloween used to be like, okay, here goes some like an inflatable,
Dracula or something
like that. And now it's like Jason holding a head. Yeah. It's like, yo, why does your front yard look like a cemetery?
Yeah.
And why is that normal to you? Yeah. Like, I'm not into Halloween like that.
Me either. That's going too far.
Or it's like a 15-foot skeleton holding the corpse of a monkey. And it's like a decapitated koala in the driveway. Like, that's too much.
That is too much. Have you been? I went to Party City last year and they had like, is it Annabelle or something like that? What's the other ones?
Annabelle. There
was another one that was like really creepy. And I'm like, I said, wow, Halloween decorations have really changed. They are more gory.
Yeah, it's like, yo, just put like, little Dracula or little mummy or something like that. Or like you can even
make it a little friendlier type of house.
Looking out the window, like grabbing the cross and stuff like that. Because you're like, yo, so I don't want to trick or treat here. Like, what are you giving out? Eyeballs?
Like, for real? Like, eyeballs? Like, no, we're not doing that. But yeah, we can definitely make that happen with the Cedar Point. Because I think there's a limit to how much creepiness they can do. So I think we'll be good.
They keep it. They
can't just stalk you around the amusement park. So I think you're good.
That makes sense. I didn't mess around and forgot the original question.
What did I ask? Okay, so you already you answered it though.
A fun date would be like,
you said fun date.
Like going like rock climbing.
You like that?
And like shaker rocks or something like that. Or like, one of them rock climbing walls. Or like going go-kart racing. Or, going to Dave and Buster's. Something like that. Yeah. Something fun.
We can be an adult kid kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like something fun. Like I can't do the consistent like I do like to go on dinner dates a lot. But I like to break it up with, doing something fun or something.
Well, that's good. That's good. So you like switch it up. You don't want it to stay the same. Yeah, that's cool. I like that actually. I can rock with that too. I would say ideally it would be the same. I think you can never go wrong with food because if you start off a date with the fun stuff, you still not really getting to know the person. You guys really get a chance to really talk and have conversation. So you can see how they are in public, so that is something important where dinner kind of gives you that quiet intimacy to be able to kind of talk and get to know the person and see if y'all vibing to go to date 2, date 3.
Yeah.
So, and I think again, as we kind of touched on, just scheduling it, just making the time and scheduling and just making sure it fits with what you have all going on, because you may have big events coming up where you may not be able to do a whole date, for maybe a couple weeks, so you can really focus on what you need to focus on. So
actually, okay, so this is my last question.
I was saying I got one more too. So I wonder if your question is my question. Let's see.
So because this is a question that I'm at, because I know a lot of women like plan out the date.
Yeah.
So normally I do the planning out of the date. But I do like to ask questions because I don't want to be like, all right, we going to the seafood place, and you like, I'm allergic to seafood.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
No, that's good.
how do you handle that aspect? Like, do you usually give suggestions like, oh, if we're going for food, I like Italian, just to let you know?
I do. I'm really good at throwing out hints.
Okay.
I'm pretty much, by now, I'm pretty sure y'all know all these episodes. I'm an open book. So yeah, I will help y'all and be like, oh, you know what? I've been wanting to try this restaurant, you know, X, Y, and Z, or haunted house. I've never been to the haunted house restaurant. I've always wanted to. So, you know, I would throw out little hints and everything, and, you know, just make it real easy. Like, all right, cool, bet. That's what all right, perfect. So I'm pretty simple, girl. Honestly, that I would prefer the person to also be kind of that way, because I'm very observant, so I do pay attention, and I try to do as much as I can to intently listen. So if you throw out little things that you like, you know, what you saying you ain't never been to see a point, all right, bet. I'll make sure that I plan to see the point. So I'm always listening.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way I can be able to catch little hints that maybe you don't even know you threw out there that, you know, okay, say that for later. I'm gonna put that to the side. I'm gonna say that for the right time, and bam, that's where we go. I think that makes for a great, you know, down the road relationship if it gets to that point, you know, is that you're paying attention to your person.
Yep.
So remember, y'all, as y'all in this dating thing, make sure you are still listening to understand what that person is saying. So that way you kind of know and nothing catches you off guard later.
And not listen to respond.
Boom. That part. Was it quick to listen, slow to speak?
Yeah.
I think the Bible even says that. So yeah. Use more of your ears. What they say, you got 2 ears, 1 mouth. So use more of that, you know, skill set of listening. And then you can be able to receive it better in that way. Everything gonna work out. But y'all, I mean, I wanted one more question with you. Do you have a preference do you prefer to date someone who is like an entrepreneur? Like, so let's say if they had their own boutique or something like that, and that's what they do. Or do you prefer a 9-to-5?
It's no preference.
It's no preference? Okay.
No, it's no preference. I think the main thing is just like, don't let whatever you do define you to a point where you, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you have a personality outside of whatever you do.
Okay.
So that's the main thing. But no, it's no preference.
Okay.
As long as like you got those moral characteristics and it's good chemistry, then, you know, you could be working at Target, or you could, you know, build your own fly traps or something like that. And be making a killing off an Etsy store.
You could be making a killing. Who's to know? You could be doing a little bit of both. Working at Target and making the fly traps. Okay, it makes it even more interesting. What made you want to do that, you know? Yeah. Okay. I would say for me, I guess, at one point in time, I thought that maybe only dating entrepreneurs can understand what I'm venturing off into. So for a second, I guess I was kind of closed-minded to the fact of a 9-to-5 person. But maybe you just open my eyes to realize, as long as they could just be respectful of the time, I'm just not going to be able to have all the available time that person that once they clock out from work, that's it. They don't have to worry about anything else. Yeah. But for me, when I clock out from my 9-to-5, I still have other
things to do.
Yeah. So as long as they can be respectful of that and understand that, then, you know, the girl can rock with it, I guess. So you just changed my perspective on it. Wow, look at that.
Tip my hat to myself.
Look at that. Well, y'all, this has been a wonderful episode. I'm glad we got to pick up where we left off. I kind of wish it would have maybe just keep going, you know, because it was really just getting so good. So, you know, sometimes we be losing the magic a little bit, but, you know, Jstepone, he good at what he do, you know. So we was able to turn it around, and we got all the information, which I pray that it helps those who are out there. I know it's quite a bit of us in the dating world that's just trying to figure it out. A lot of us that may be venturing into entrepreneur is still kind of new in the entrepreneurial you know, industry, or maybe you are just, you enjoy your girl so much and you content where you at. Nothing wrong with that. That's fine. But I hope that overall that we're just able to find the person that is meant for us, and that you would take what me and Djstepone kind of threw out there, and, you know, just really taking around with it, best of luck to you guys on that. You have any final words for the good folks that are watching?
No, make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes, I love that. Yes, please, y'all, make sure if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It only takes like 1 click. That's it. 2 seconds to do it. And share, comment, let me know what other topics maybe that I could get into for you. I don't mind it. I appreciate all of my fabulous guests that come on here and, you know, take time out of their day to be able to spend with your girl. And again, be able to, you know, help us all as we're figuring this all out. So again, love you guys so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And until next time, let's make a change.